So I was sitting around at night, and while I was microwaving this morning's breakfast, which is now dinner, I got a notion in me noggin. And as such, I decided I'd speak on it. Industrialization and the perception of the modern man as useless. This isn't something that requires a super in-depth dive, but I do wonder if other people have thought about or explored this concept. Basically, for quite some time now, I've seen a cavalcade of women express that they find men to be not simply harmful, but useless altogether in modern society. And while it is possible there's some degree of hyperbole or exaggeration there, I believe that there are always expressions of truth in things that are continually expressed. The modern woman does not respect the modern man's role in building, maintaining, and stabilizing the modern world and its systems and structures. But why is this? Is it because of anti-male, pro-woman ideologies? Is it because men are perceived as having done so much harm to the world at large, and women as a collective group, that women have come to the conclusion that they'd be better off without men altogether? At first glance, one might imagine that the above factors play a role in this sentiment. But I think the answer is a bit simpler. I think that women believe men are useless because the structure of modern society removes the average person from the activities that were once required in order for humans to survive. Our food is produced by external entities, transported almost invisibly from hitherto unimaginable distances and deposited on store shelves, which are as easily accessible as a 5 to 10 minute walk for the majority of people living in developed countries. We live in a world where we can have access to food, warmth, and shelter while experiencing next to none of the risk that our ancestors did. And you know what? I think that this world of convenience and ease has created an environment where women no longer respect or are even consciously aware of the immense amount of work men still do to keep the world running. Obviously, most physical labor is still done by men. Construction, farming, animal husbandry, etc. But the way the human mind works, if we don't see it and experience it directly, consistently, it may as well be imaginary. Object permanence requires a level of thinking that most human beings lack. And I'll argue that point till I am blue in the face. In any case, the modern woman does not see her partner bring home the pelt of a dangerous beast he is slaying with his own hands. She does not see her partner work and till the fields, returning with callous palms and sudden beaten brow. She does not see a hunter, nor a gatherer, and her primal sensibilities tell her that while he may contribute money to the household, so does she, and as such, they are equals, and women do not desire equality in truth. They desire, and in fact, require the perception of a man who is greater than themselves, lest their nether regions become as dry as the seabed Moses once parted, and they begin to resent his very presence. And in a certain sense, she is not entirely wrong to think this. If we, as modern men of civilized society, were suddenly cast into a world where a failure to hunt effectively meant annihilation, where a drought meant our own kin might lay with empty bellies. Would we really be able to reform in the way our forefathers did? Let us hope this remains an exercise in theory. Nevertheless, I do think that industrialization as a whole is a large part of this problem, more so than any sentiments cultivated by talking heads via social media, though they certainly exacerbate the issue. I do not believe this is a conscious concept, which is why I'm speaking on it, because I think it's worth thinking about. Despite all that, I see no easy solution. The structure of the world will not change overnight, and people's minds will always lag behind societal progress. However, as a modern man, be mindful that should you fail during one of the limited opportunities you have to show and prove you still carry the blood of those who slew beasts in the field, she will not easily forget such a failure. Ruthlessly pragmatic as a matter of biological necessity, women can sense a weak man, and they will recoil from you henceforth, regardless how long it takes to become a conscious level of disgust. So then, be strong, courageous, and upright in all things, with your words and actions. Be the man she can depend on to deal with the bumps in the night, and your bedchambers will never be vacant.